All right, let's talk about something every single serious poker player struggles with. There's just so much information out there, right? We're going to dive into how you can actually organize all that chaos and turn it into real, tangible improvement in your game.
And yeah, that really is the perfect way to describe it, isn't it? Poker study can feel like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. You've got strategy videos, endless forum debates, solver outputs, Discord channels. It just never stops. It's not just overwhelming, it's just too much for your brain to handle all at once. The problem isn't finding stuff to study. The real challenge is making any of it actually stick. So that's the big question, right? How do you turn all that noise into real, measurable improvement at the tables? This is what separates the players who are just spinning their wheels from the ones who are actually leveling up. And today, we're going to break down a system that does exactly that. Okay, let's talk about the poker learning problem. You've probably seen this, maybe you've even been this person, someone who watches hours and hours of training content, but their game just doesn't seem to get any better. The difference maker? It's not about how much time you put in, it's about the structure of how you learn. And this really gets to the heart of it. If you don't have some kind of system, that amazing aha moment you have while watching a video, it's gone. It's just a fleeting thought that disappears into the ether. Your brain is just trying to survive that information fire hose, so it tosses it aside. And because of that, it never gets applied, and it never actually becomes part of your game. So what's the answer here? Well, it's all about building your own personal poker blueprint. This is the secret. It's how you take all those random, scattered ideas you're getting blasted with and turn them into a real, actionable guide that's built specifically for your game. I want you to think about your notes like a map. Without a map, you're basically just lost in the woods, wandering from one concept to the next, just hoping you stumble onto the right path. But with a good map, now you have a clear route. You know where you're going. This takes so much pressure off your brain and helps turn abstract theory into things you can actually do. And eventually, those actions become pure instinct. That's how you start seeing real, measurable progress. Okay, so how do we actually build this map, this blueprint? The absolute key here is to keep it simple. You don't need some super complicated software or a crazy system. Honestly, the best system is the one you're actually going to use day in and day out. So let's dive into a simple but really powerful framework you can literally start using today. So here it is, a simple 5-step framework. This is basically the engine that's going to power your whole learning process. First, you've got your topic. Simple enough, right? Then, the key takeaway. What's the one big lesson? Number 3, an example hand, because you've got to see it in action. 4, and this is maybe the most important, your adjustment plan. What are you actually going to do differently? And finally, number 5, community input, where you pull in key ideas from other players. See how that works? It's not just a note anymore. It's a real actionable training plan. And here's a quick pro tip that honestly is a total game changer. Color code your notes. It sounds so simple, but check this out. You can make theory insights blue, stuff you got from the community green, and then, this is the most important part, your action steps, what you're actually going to do, make those red. All of a sudden, you can scan your notes in seconds and know exactly what you need to focus on. It makes your review sessions so much faster and way more effective. All right, so now you've got a system, but where do you find the good stuff to put in the system? Well, places like online forums, Discord servers, study groups, they can be absolute gold mines of information. But, and this is a big but, you have to know how to sift through all the junk to find the actual treasure. So how do you mine for that gold? Well, here are 3 key things to do. First, look for patterns. When you see a bunch of really good players all saying the same thing, pay attention. That's a huge signal. Second, extract, don't just copy. Don't just copy and paste a whole forum post. Pull out the one core idea. And third, you have to question everything. Constantly ask yourself, okay, but does this actually apply to the games I play? How would this change if I was up against a different type of player? This is how you go from just passively reading to actually actively studying. And that last point is so important. That mental step of taking someone else's idea and putting it into your own words, that's where the magic happens. It forces your brain to actually understand the logic behind it. It's the difference between just borrowing an idea for a little while and truly owning it. Okay, so we've got the system down. We know where to find the info. Now for the final crucial piece of the puzzle, turning all of this into a habit. This is where all that knowledge you're gathering finally transforms into actual skill. The end goal here is to make the right plays automatically, without even thinking about it. Like muscle memory, but for your poker brain. And the best part is, this doesn't have to be some horrible grind. Seriously, look at how manageable this can be. We're talking 15 to 20 minutes a day, maybe just looking over one concept or a couple of hands. Then once a week, you summarize the best ideas you picked up, and once a month, you create some quick refresher pages for a pre-game review. It just goes to show you, consistency over intensity, every single time. Now, it's also super important to know what not to do. There are some common traps you've got to avoid. So, instead of just copy-pasting posts, you're going to rephrase everything in your own words. Instead of just passively absorbing stuff, you're going to actively test your takeaways at the tables. And please don't try to fix your whole game at once. Just focus on one weakness at a time. Think of this as your roadmap to actually learning effectively. Because at the end of the day, look, the goal here isn't to create a giant, perfectly organized library of notes. That's not the point. The point is to fundamentally transform how you understand and think about poker. It's about turning that knowledge into true gut-level instinct when you're in the heat of a hand. There's a line that sums this all up perfectly. Your poker study notes aren't just text. They're your evolution written down. I mean, how good is that? It really captures it, right? Every note you take is a little piece of your journey, a snapshot of you getting better. It's literally your own poker evolution, documented. So let's make this real, right now. I want you to think about this as we finish up. What's the one leak in your game, just one thing, big or small, that you could start building a note on right now using the system? Seriously, think of one. Because there's no better time to start building that blueprint for your game than this very...
Start a live chat now to join one of our clubs or ask us any questions. Message at bluffingmonkeys24_7 on Telegram or visit bluffingmonkeys.com and start a live chat.